going on, everyone? Welcome. This is the Warehouse Series. So, guys, if you guys want to do all this, I really appreciate it. Someone did reach out to me about an interview. I'm going to be off about 10 days at the end of June going into July. So hopefully we can get that set up for them. So I will reach out to you again. I'm working 12-hour days. I am very limited on my time right now. So if you guys want to do all this, I really appreciate it. So before we get to today's video, yesterday on Discord Friday, someone posted this picture, and I love when you guys reply back if I post your order on there, because I don't know the whole story. But I'm glad at the same time I do say stuff like this because it is a learning process for newer selectors. But this person came back and said this was a scratch. I had to go grab it real quick and then throw it on. Now, our perishable building, produce building, we do go back for scratches. Dry goods, we do not go back for scratches. And we get this issue. You know, sometimes you forget, oh yeah, I forgot I scratched 3 apples. I got to go get apples. And then guys will come and just smash the crap out of their mushrooms. I would rather just call them a mushroom, stack my apples up. And if I need delay time, I'll turn in delay time. See, I had to reorganize my pallet so I could put the heavy items on there. One time when I get irritated, I will toss cases up there and smash stuff. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes I get really irritated at the warehouse and I'm just like, screw it. But I'm glad that you commented. It does suck that you have to go back and get scratches, but still you want to try not to smash product. All right, guys, so today I'm talking about a system. You know, 10 months ago, I put this video out, and I didn't put it out to just show you my work and say, hey, look at me, you know, I'm building good pallets. It's to show you that I do the same thing every time. I put the same cases in the same spot every single time. That is the purpose for this video. If you did not see this, it'll be in the description below. So with that being said, guys, you know, I was messaging Jeremy, and I wish I would have took a picture of this pallet that I was doing. But if you guys have been watching me, you know that our warehouse is reslotting. By the looks of it, it's going to take about 10 to 12 years to get done reslotting our warehouse. And, you know, this part of the warehouse is just like something different every day. You never know what's coming up. And that is why you see the people that just throw to throw. That's why their pallets look like crap all the time. So at the old way, this was our 1 hour was slotted. I knew exactly what was coming up. I knew how I wanted to build my pallets. I knew my system. Now that they're doing everything they're doing, it started bringing this up. Like, okay, this is what it feels like not to have a system. This is when you just throw to throw. You have no idea. You're not learning your product. You're not learning what's coming up. I'm learning, you know, this certain product goes out 90% of my order. So I want to prepare for that product. And right now I can't do that because they move stuff around every single day. And like I said, they've been doing it forever. And I don't know what the hell they're waiting for, but it's absolutely insane how long it's taken to reslot this warehouse. But it's a process every single time I walk in that building in this one section of the warehouse. All right, guys. So with all that being said, you know, how to learn your system. I just told you that I built a pallet very crappy. I told one of the bosses that are in charge of reslotting, I said, in the 25 years I've been there, I probably stopped to wrap my pallets like, not even a lot, all right? And usually when I do, it's one time. Well, that order that I was talking about, I started throwing cases up, right? Throwing cases on their sides, throwing upside. I didn't care because I was getting so stupid irritated. And I had to stop and wrap the stupid thing 8 times. 8 times I had to stop and wrap that pallet because it's all weight. It's all stuff that you're not supposed to turn on their sides, but I was losing my patience with it. So I'm like, you know what? The heck with this order, the heck with this part of the warehouse until they get this stuff organized. Once it's organized, I'm going to have to learn that part of the warehouse again. And that is going to be part of my system. I'm going to have to start because, guys, I usually build a base up and then I have a part in the warehouse where I build my second base. All right. I don't build 2 pallets at one time. Well, now I have to build 2 pallets at one time in that part of the warehouse. So that is something I am learning, the way that they're slotting that part of the warehouse. So guys, stick with what works. I told you, you know, with that video, let's line them up. I stick with what works. Once I find something, guys, if I have a certain block that I use, maybe I don't like the block that comes off the pallet. I like my own block. I stick with that block. I throw it the same way every time. Same way every single time. Learn that system. All right. If you throw to throw, you're going to be like I am. And like, because you don't know what's coming up. So you're just throwing shit all over the place. Learn shortcuts. That is part of your system. Grabbing multiple cases. If you have light boxes, if you're in and out with light boxes, you should be constantly 1 slot ahead. You know, you should be saying 1 as you're grabbing the case and listening to the next slot, because you might be able to grab like 4 or 5 cases of these lighter boxes before you even go back to your pallet. Every time you grab a case and go back to your pallet, you're wasting time. If I could just keep walking around my pallet, especially if one slot's on this side of the aisle, the other one's on this side, and then I got to come back. Now you're wasting time walking back and forth around your jack. So grabbing those multiple lighter boxes, guys, you shouldn't be carrying heavier boxes. You don't need to hurt yourself. You know, like when I'm in the Keurig coffee, I like to grab multiples. I'll stack them up in my arms and then I'll throw them on if I can. So grab multiples when needed. Quickest route, guys. You know, when I used to train, we have a cross out. Learn, if you have a cross out, learn what slots are at those cross outs. So if you're leaving your aisle and you're going to another aisle, you want to learn you want to take that cross out. You don't want to be driving all the way down the warehouse and coming down the other aisle and hitting traffic possibly at the beginning of that aisle if you could just cut right through that cross out. So learn what slots are on each side of the cross out so you know where you're going so you could get the quickest route. Once again, I was telling you that person went back for a scratch. Learn the quickest route. Guys, before you just start taking off and driving to that scratch you have to go get, think for a second. What's the quickest route to get there? Maybe, you know, odds are on one side, evens are on the other on our warehouse. Maybe there's traffic in that aisle I have to go to. So I'm going to drive down the opposite aisle, you know, depending on what side on, you know, that scratch was on. And maybe I'm just going to reach through the rack and grab it if it's a lighter box. Or maybe I'm going to ask somebody over there, hey, can you throw me that box? You don't want to get caught up in congestion just because, you know, you need that scratch. So don't be afraid to grab a case from the aisle. Or even park down the thing and go walk and go get it if you have to. And I said don't walk around your pallet. So that also pertains to like selecting multiple cases, but it also pertains to like, let's say I have a case and I'm on one side of the aisle. And I know on the other side of the pallet is where I really want that case. I needed a case to fit on that other side of the pallet. Throw it in the middle of your pallet. All right, just toss it up in the middle. And then when you select a case on the other side of the aisle, then place that case. All right, don't walk around and place the case. And then your next slot's gonna be back on the other side again. Walking around your jack nonstop from one side, you got to learn to the shortcuts on that. You want to quit doing that because you're just wasting way too much time. And guys, learn the check digits. So when I say learn the check digits, I don't mean every single check digit. You don't have to learn. You start learning the check digits of the heavy moving items. But what I like to learn is the check digits of the beginning of the aisles. All right. So like our 48 aisle. We got sugar. There's three things you pick like every single time. All right, so I know the check digits to those 3 slots. So, and I know they're always replanted. There's multiple locations and there's always cases there. So I will actually pick those 3 slots before I'm even anywhere close to the aisle. So I know how many of those cases I need. Now remember, you got to remember how many quantities you need. You don't just want to say it and just throw 1 of each if you need a 2 of each. So I'll hit those 3 up real quick. And then guys, that way when I get in the slot, bam, 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 I'm gone. I know what I needed and I'm progressing into the aisle because you don't want to be held up at the middle of the aisle because if more selectors come in, then you're going to get caught up in congestion. The name of this game is progression, guys. You want to keep moving forward at all times. And, you know, I could put on here too about touching cases. You know, you don't want to touch cases too many times. Now, I tell you as a new selector, you should be touching cases multiple times to learn your system. And sometimes I do touch cases on my base. When I get waist high and up, I try to touch my cases 1 time. But if I'm building a base, my base is the most important part of my pallet. I am trying to, you know, touch cases if I have to a little bit more than once to make sure that my bases can be nice and solid. All right, guys, so that's it. And to finish off with don't throw to throw. So when I threw that order, I could not even imagine the headache every single order of not knowing my warehouse because that was me. All right, throwing that the order, I did not know what was coming up. And when you throw to throw, you're not memorizing stuff. I couldn't even imagine doing that every order. I mean, you want to talk about giving yourself a headache. No wonder why you guys hate your job so much. Learn your system. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Remember, guys, I have over 300 videos on my channel. So if you're new, go ahead and navigate them and please watch those. You know, when I have time and I have information to put out, I'm off Friday, Saturday. So that is when my videos come out. I make my Discord Friday morning, and here I am Saturday morning making another video. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.